Hey folks, today we are coming full circle and going back to do something I did really early on for my channel, which was a Tamron 70-300 for Nikon review. It may have been the first video that really got a lot of views on my channel, encouraged me to keep going, and probably brought a lot of you to the channel. I'd love to hear how long have you been following. I know there are still some people in the audience who've been here for the whole 12 or 13 years that I've been on YouTube. It's great news for Nikon Z shooters that Nikon, I wasn't sure if it's official or unofficially announced that, or have accepted third-party manufacturers onto the platform. I wasn't sure it was going to happen when we saw them bring out their own 28-35 that looks like a Tamron rebrand. But Tamron have brought out this guy, which is a 70-300 variable aperture budget telephoto lens, native for Nikon Z. It also has a variation for the Sony E-mount. And at the bottom of the press release is a very encouraging statement that says, this product is developed and manufactured under the license agreement with Nikon Corporation. So there should be no issues, and hopefully this will be the start of many to come. I'm going to unbox this today. I'll give you some close-ups on it. I'll take a couple of quick sample shots with it, but we're going to take the time to go out and shoot with it properly. So let me know what you'd like to see tested. Now this is going to be more budget end of the range in terms of its features and specifications, which you would expect for the budget price for a lens like this being $700. I know that's not an absolute bargain, but relatively speaking, compared to the thousands of dollars you'd pay for a 70-200 f2.8, relatively cheap. It does still, however, have their B-bar coating. It's got a low dispersion element. It's got some of the tech in there, and it does allow for the Tamron utility to be able to make adjustments. It's super slim and under half a kilo, I think, or around about half a kilo. They said it's actually the smallest and lightest lens of this kind of focal length for mirrorless that exists at the moment. It looks like it'll balance fairly nicely. I'm planning, because, you know, I'm a Z9 shooter, but if you're looking at these lenses, there's a good chance you aren't. So I'll actually test it on the Z7 as well as the Z9 and show you the results, you know, because the focus between the two obviously has a fair bit of difference in terms of tech. Looking at the lens itself, it's got a fairly minimal design, just the zoom ring. You've got the focus ring. There's no command ring. That's something I would love to see third-party manufacturers bring in, like the Nikon native ones have. Plus it has the USB port to be able to connect to the app to make changes. Now before I show you the close-ups on this guy, I just wanted to let you guys know that this too. Now I want to throw this guy on the turntable so you can see it up close, but one thing I wanted to note is how much easier it zooms if you take the rear cap off. That's because the back of this lens doesn't have an element, so it is sucking a lot of air back and forward there. Once you have the cap on, the zoom mechanism becomes a lot tighter. So I don't know that that's necessarily any kind of an issue, but you know, a lens has to be able to move air around to expand and contract. That's just part of a lens design. Taking a look at it on the turntable, let's run through some of the specs. The aperture varies from 4.5 at 70mm through to 6.3 at the long end. It's got 15 elements in 10 groups. It'll focus down to 0.8 of a meter at the wide end or 1.5 meters at the long end. At its widest, it's 77 millimeters wide, but the filter size is only 67 mil. The total weight is 580 grams, and it's only got a 7-blade circular diaphragm rather than a 9-blade one. And in terms of minimum aperture, at the wide end it's f22, at the long end it's f32. So these lenses have been kind of a stepping stone for a lot of shooters. They let you get long without having to spend a fortune. I started out using one of these variable aperture zoom lenses when I was getting started. They offer great bang for buck generally. That said, I'm yet to fully test it out, so let me know what you would like to see tested. And if you are in the Nikon Z system, do me a favor and check out my setup guide. It'll teach you everything you need to know about your camera and get the most out of it. That'll do for now. I'll finish on a little slideshow of images. Don't forget to check out the 5-day deal below, and I'll see you soon.